Hey folks, welcome back to Green Iron TV. We're down in the garage working, and we're going to do a little bit with the ambulance. So we did just have the Veterans Day Parade a couple weeks ago, and I did say when we got home that everything ran flawlessly. Well, that was a little bit of a fib. Everything ran great, but on the way home, the ambulance developed a little bit of a loud noise, and lo and behold, the original muffler on the ambulance here has cracked and let go. So after 50 some years, the original muffler just has had its time, and the back half of it is cracked, and so it's gonna be time to replace the muffler. But mufflers, or direct fit mufflers, for the 725 ambulance and the 715 trucks, they can be a little difficult to source out. Right now, I don't have a replacement one, but what I do have is I do have a generic one. I have one that I actually had installed in the 715 originally, because the mid pipe and the header pipe, those are readily available. You can find those in several places. It's the muffler and then the tailpipe, which is, for whatever reason, next to impossible to find, or at least find in any kind of decent shape and so forth. So I originally had a regular automotive muffler modified and a basic tailpipe bent for the 715. And lo and behold, after several years, I did acquire the proper muffler and tailpipe for the 715, was able to put that on, and I kept this other piece as a spare. Now, it's going to bolt back in just like the regular muffler, but the tailpipe's different, but I want to keep the stock tailpipe here. So we're going to modify this and put the bolt flange on the back side to match the one that was on the front side, and that'll help us get an original style muffler back in the 725 ambulance. So that's what we're going to do today. So thanks a lot for sticking along and watching all the green iron stuff we got going on here. So like always, I want to remind you folks, take the moment, give us a like, leave a comment, hit the subscribe button down below. We are very, very close to that magic 1,000 subscriber number, and this is an all organic channel. I don't pay for hits. I don't pay for subscriptions or none of that stuff. So all the subscribers are real subscribers, and I appreciate every single one of you guys. So stay tuned. That's what's going to come up on Green Iron TV. So as we can see, the back edge of this muffler here has just cracked and worn out with time. So that's left this muffler leaking and making a rattle and making a noise. So we're gonna get under and take it out. So luckily, on all these military vehicles, the mufflers are flange bolted in. So we got the 3 bolts on this side and 3 on the other side, and we're going to go ahead and get those bolts out, get this muffler out, and measure up to build basically a replacement muffler. Okay, let's see if any of these bolts come loose. Oh my. Oh my, those haven't been moved in 50 some years. That's going to be a problem. None of these want to budge. Oh, yep. We may just have to cut these bolts off. Alright, because we're in tight spaces, let's see if we can use the cutoff wheel. Well, those are definitely hardened bolts, which means we'll probably need to use something a little more aggressive. So I am trying to cut on this side because this is the bad side. What I don't want to do is I don't want to cut on the flange side of the tailpipe or the mid pipe because I don't want to damage this surface because we're reusing all this. So, you know, if I damage anything, I want to be able to damage this flange here, which is on the old muffler we're taking out. So. Getting there little by little. Okay, so this is the muffler we're going to use. And we got to angle the flanges. Now I've measured and I know that I need to be 23 inches between flange and flange, and I'm long right now because I don't have this flange here tapped down in. It's basically just sitting at the edge there. It's got, you know, over an inch that it's got to be tapped in, but I don't want to go ahead and set that until I get the old muffler out, and then I can match the angle of these flanges so that I can get these flanges to mount in the right spot. And I'll put some tack welds around them and get them lined up in the proper spot. So like I said, I don't want to tap that in until I know what that angle is, because I'll never get it out and never get it spinned around and adjusted to the angle that I need. So we'll do that once we know what that angle is. So, but all in all, this is, you know, just a regular automotive muffler. Like I said, I did have it in the truck before, and one of the things I didn't know I have to do was I had to shorten the flanges to be able to make the 23 inches between flange to flange. And so, you know, we took the one off and recut it and shorten it down, like I said, and then now I don't want to jam it all the way back in there until we're sure of the angle. This one is got just enough looseness that I can get it in and out and get it adjusted in and set. So all in all, shouldn't be too terribly much of a project. The big problems being is that getting the old muffler out, those grade 8 hardened bolts on the exhaust. A, they're in awkward positions to get at, and B, they're just they're boogers to get out. So we're going to keep working away at those. Okay, well, to get at this last bolt is was in a precarious position because it's up at the top and real hard to get at. Now, here's my problem is the muffler is so rotten that here on the back side, I've lost my orientation. So I believe it was somewhere around there. But so we're going to have to mock up the front, weld the front, and then dry fit it and make sure we get the angle we need. But we got just this last bolt finished cutting. Hey, there it goes. All right. As we can see, our muffler definitely had seen its day and rotted out and let go. So we're going to go ahead, mock it up, and get the replacement all fitted. Okay, so our replacement muffler, and like I said, this side we're going to have to kind of guesstimate, and we'll kind of just get it up in there, find it, and then put some tacks on it. But this front one, this is the one that's going to be important, and like I said, this is the one that's the tight fit, so we're going to have to do a little we want to make sure before we tap this one in that we get the angles kind of right. So we're going to work on getting that angle matched up. See, that looks pretty good, pretty close. All right, so we'll tap that one in. Check the length. About a 1/4 inch more to go. All right, 23 flange to flange. And our angle looks pretty right. And before we weld this, I will just lift it up underneath there and double check it a little bit, make sure it looks square. And then we'll put some tack welds on it. And then we'll fit the rear and put a couple tack welds on that. All right, this should be pretty good. Just needed to put a couple little beads on there just to hold it in. All right, let's try and fit this up and match our tailpiece. All right, now we should be able to get the orientation on that piece. And we'll put the tailpipe back up there and line it all up. line up right there. So let's mark this. And now we can weld that. Yeah, it ain't pretty, but it works. Okay, we got fresh new gaskets. And let's get this back up in there again. Well, that fell off. Let's go clamp that back up. So definitely be easier with an extra set of hands, but I don't have an extra set tonight. All right, now that we got all the bolts started, we're trying to tighten this. All right, I'll bolt it up. quiet. Well, folks, that wraps up this episode of Green Iron TV. I want to thank you for watching along as we replace that rotten old muffler. That was the original muffler. It's been underneath this truck since 1967. So, 55-year-old muffler. It got its life. It finally rotted through and broke. Luckily, we were able to make a new muffler to fit back in the position, and wasn't too hard. Probably the hardest thing out of all of this was the fact that the flange bolts were 55 years old and had never been removed, and they were hardened. Why they were grade 8 hard bolts, I'll never know, especially for exhaust, which meant we had to cut through them to get them off, and it was painful to get cut through, especially because we're in such tight spaces there. I tried to film as much as I could, but the problem was about every time I try and rearrange to cut a new position, I kept putting myself in front of the camera. So it is what it is. You guys get the gist of it. We got the bolts cut off, flanges welded on the new muffler, and aligned up in there and all bolted back together. So all in all, it wasn't too terrible of a project, but it's not a fun project, just because everything is in the most precarious position. So anyway, I want to thank you guys for watching along. I want you to please take a moment, click the like button, leave a comment. I love to hear from everybody. Hit the subscribe button. We are very, very close to that 1,000. And like I've said all along, I don't pay for clicks. I don't pay for stuff like that. All my subscribers are genuine subscribers, and I appreciate every single one of you guys for following along as we play with all our green madness. It is pretty much winter here now. It is going to be limiting what I can do in the garage. And I don't have a lot of projects lined up for the winter. So we probably will be a little sporadic here and there on updates for a little bit. I do have a small scale modeling project like we showed last winter. That's what I have a tendency to do in the winter, is I switch from the 1-to-1 scale down to 1/35th scale, fine scale models. And I do have a special build coming up. It's going to be a tribute build, and it should turn out pretty good, but this is definitely going to be a very multi-part series on that. When I get to it, there is going to be a lot of scratch building to get the details that I want and to get the particular vehicle that I want. So it is a unique vehicle, and it is something that's going to be near and dear to my heart and near and dear to my family here. So that's one of the things we're going to start to work on here soon. But anyway, thanks a lot for watching along. And if you haven't already, please check out the link down below for the Green Iron TV merchandise store. There's hats, t-shirts, sweatshirts. It is getting close to Christmas season. It's a chance to pick up some good military vehicle swag stuff for those in your family that are into military vehicles or good old green iron. So, hey, thanks a lot for watching, and you guys have a great day.